Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I wish I knew before losing weight. So earlier this year, I lost a ton of weight. I lost about, I want to say like 48 to 50 pounds in the span of 3 months, which was a lot of weight to lose. And primarily I did it by like incorporating fasting. Like I would do periods of like 3-day fast or 2-day fast. Like I did my longest like a 10-day fast. So I did periods of fasting, and it was super effective. And there's so many benefits to fasting, and I think fasting is amazing. Another thing that helped me lose that much weight that fast is that I was very active. I had my Fitbit and I was hitting steps. Like I was hitting 15K, 20K, 30K steps a day. Like I was going ham. Like I think I just really wanted to prove to myself that, and yeah, I wanted to prove to myself. I was going to say and others, but no, I think it was mostly to myself. But also I had been talking about losing weight for so long that I also kind of wanted, I think, to show people around me that like, no, I was serious this time. I was going to lose the weight, like period poo, like I really wanted, but most of all, I wanted to prove to myself that it was possible because I was at the point where it's like either I lose this weight or I stop complaining about it, I stop talking about it, I just, so I was trying to lose that weight. And I was trying to lose it fast. I had a photo shoot in mind that I wanted to do and I was really committed and I'm proud of myself for doing that. However, however, um, there are a lot of things that I did wrong. And so, for example, like I would fast, and then when I wasn't fasting, at first I tried to like track the meals that I wasn't that I was eating on my non-fasting days, but then I felt like my metabolism is going to slow down if I don't make sure I'm eating adequately on the days where I'm not fasting, right? So but the issue is I kind of use that at times as a license to eat whatever I wanted on the days where I wasn't fasting. Like I would like be craving certain things and I would go and get that and I would be craving this and craving that and craving that. So I'd be fasting and then when I wasn't fasting, I was just eating whatever and I was just craving so many things. And it worked. I lost the weight, but I think it helped because I am a person who already struggles with emotional eating, because I'm a person who likes to eat a lot and ties emotion with food, and does have the propensity. I don't know if I want to say the word binge because people define it. I think people define binging as like, oh, okay, you don't even like enjoy it and you're still eating and you wake up in the middle of the night. No, no, no. I was enjoying every single bit of food I ate. I was just eating a ton of it and I was craving everything, and so yeah, that wasn't that's not healthy, so when I finished, yeah, I was able to like maintain the weight for a half a second, but immediately like I had trips that were planned. So it's like, when I came back from those trips, it's like I was afraid to weigh myself because I knew it went up. And it's like if you're fasting or if you're on a low calorie diet, when you increase your calories, you're going to be like holding on to some bloat, you're going to be holding on to water, you're going to just have food in your system, so you're going to weigh more, right? So but because I didn't want, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna weigh myself until I go through another period of fasting. And it's like my body was at the point where it didn't want to fast anymore. It just needed more nutrients. And because I was so afraid of like admitting like, okay, maybe things are kind of getting under like out of control, or like, oh, okay, this happened. It's okay. Let's move forward. I was still stuck in the, I need to go on another fast, I need to go on another fast. And like, since I was at the place where I didn't want to go on another fast because my body didn't want that, yeah, it just put me in a really bad place, right? Like my body got to the point where it's like, I would eat like 2,000 calories or no amount of calories and I found myself still being hungry. And then so I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not going to track. I'm just going to let my body eat. And my body ate and it was good and bad. Like it was kind of like an all in type thing. Like I just ate and ate. And I'm, so I'm kind of glad. Sorry, something popped up on my phone. But yeah, I'm kind of glad that I let myself eat, because I think my body like needed to kind of like recover a little bit. However, I feel like if I was tracking during that time, in the sense of like if I was putting certain parameters in place, I wouldn't have blew up as much as I did after that fact. Because after this like me losing this weight, like things happened in my life where I got like really depressed. And if we rewind, I said I'm an emotional eater, right? So what I did when I lost weight, I didn't, and I thought I tried to, but I didn't do a good enough job of one, like working on my mindset, working on like my emotional cues, like my hunger cues, working on just like me. Like I was working so much on my body that I didn't work as much on my mindset. And so yeah, so after this and like facing real life, which has issues and struggles, and also my appetite, my hunger cues being out of whack because I was like kind of fasting for so long, um it made me kind of, yeah, like I kind of blew up. And yeah, like I was really ashamed about it because it's like I lost so much weight. Like everyone had noticed. I was so proud. Like I did it. Woo. And then like before you know it, your girl's gaining weight again. And it's like it's mad embarrassing. Like I got to the point where like I couldn't even look at mirrors. Like I was wearing baggy clothing all the time. I didn't want to put on makeup. I was slumming it. I was really slumming it. Like I would go on trips and not enjoy myself and not be happy because I didn't like the way I looked. I look at pictures afterwards and not like the way I looked. I didn't even want to like really enjoy my birthday because I didn't like the way I looked. All these things, yeah, it just really put me in a really negative headspace. And I think it was so much more magnified because I had just seen myself a couple months before like slim, and even then, like I hadn't really reached my goal. I reached my goal, but it's like, there are things I still wanted to work on, which of course, I guess it's life. But yeah, like to see myself blow up like so soon after that, was devastating. And so I guess what I wish I knew before I started my health journey, and what I've worked on since then, because since then, and so I literally got to the point after like this weight loss that I blew up to the same weight, if not a little bit heavier than I was previously, which is crazy. But yeah, so after that, like it got to the point where literally I did actually reset my hunger cues. Like after a couple months of just kind of letting myself eat, I reset my hunger cues, and I started really slow. Like I started really slow with trying to incorporate healthy habits. And I'll go into another video of how I like what I'm doing now and how that's helped me and how I've like lost getting close to most of the weight again now within the same year, but in a different, healthier, manageable way, and something that has become a lifestyle change for me. And so I think what I wish I knew is that one, I wish I knew how to really make it a lifestyle change. And I thought what I was doing was I could sustain it as a lifestyle, and I couldn't. And so I think, in those periods where even like if you do want to incorporate fasting in the periods where you're eating, like I think having a plan for that is important so that you have something to go back to. I think making sure that you don't go through long periods of like starving yourself from very low calories or no food. Without really having a strong plan to go into afterwards is so important, because like it's just gonna mess you up in the long term. And I really, I hate those like weight loss videos that are like, oh my goodness, make it a lifestyle changes. When it's like I've been the queen of fad diets. Like, I lose weight very quickly, but I also gain weight quickly. So it's like I've been the queen of fad diets, and it's like I finally really understood that, like, yeah, I do need to make this a lifestyle change. I need to not seek out extremes, because your girl loves extremes. Like I am so like I'm drawn to the extremes, but learning to not seek out extremes and not do any, like, even like I've had to stop in this new health journey. I mean, I've had to stop myself so much, like to be like, don't seek the extreme, don't do like the lowest calories possible, don't do the most active, like stop, like do something that's sustainable, something that's slow, something that's gradual. And so yeah, back to things I wish I had a stronger plan for when I was off my diet. I wish I made it more of a lifestyle change. And by lifestyle, meaning like even when things are going bad, you can still stick to this. I wish I dealt with the mental issues that I had surrounding food. I wish I knew how much I use food as a coping mechanism, and I wish I had developed habits to address that and to incorporate that into whatever plan I wanted to do moving forward. I wish I didn't lose my Fitbit for a couple months, which caused me to like also not be as active. Like y'all, this like an activity tracker has literally it has changed my life. Like it's been like the single, like I feel like it is so worth it, and you can get some for like reasonable prices, like and like that's one of the things that really helped me so much in my like weight loss journey, both times, extreme time and how I'm doing it now. But guys, you have to track your activity. But yeah, so I wish I was like consistent with making sure I was continuing to track my activity. And yeah, I just wish I knew how much the mental part of it was so important. And also, like, I wish I knew more about what my weaknesses are. Like, you cannot, like, now that I'm losing weight, I spend as much time learning about, like, okay, what foods can I eat? What, what macros am I doing? What calories am I on? What steps am I on? I spend as much time doing that as I spend, okay, how do I control binge eating, which I'm calling what I was doing binge eating, which I don't, okay, maybe let's call it emotional eating. How do I control that? How do I address the things that cause me to do certain things like that? How do I address taking care of my mental space? How do I address being purposeful? How do I address, like, what are tools and cues that I can incorporate in my life that can help make me, like, overall better and healthier mentally as well as, like, physically, right? So I think my number one advice, and I'm sorry for going on and on and on, but I guess my number one advice would be to, as you're trying to change your physical appearance, also work on your mind. Work on creating lifestyle habits that you can incorporate even when life isn't going well, because life doesn't always go well. Life happens sometimes. And so I think having a plan in place for when life happens helps you to stick to something and helps you to stick close to your goals. And yeah, not necessarily, and staying away from extremes, like finding a middle ground, which is hard, but finding a middle ground, and not putting too much time, like, don't put a time frame on, like, your end goal. Just kind of help yourself stick to certain habits. I'm gonna make a whole video what I'm doing and the tools that are helping me now. But yeah, my biggest mistake is not planning enough for my mental space as much as I did my physical. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video, for staying tuned, even though I was rambling and all over the place. But I love you, and catch you in my next video. Bye.